We are not getting my... Let's remove that. I don't know why it's not got the gameplay on there. Let me just stick that back in. So I'm going to add a display capture. Alright, I'm just putting this back in. It was there, but for some reason it's disappeared. Okay, this is our first look at how it's going to be. I'm just going to play a couple of holes because I'm really just testing out this platform, just to see where we're at. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, it's going to be, I'm just going to play a couple of holes because I'm really just testing out this platform. Sorry, just trying to get used to it. So it's this is my first time streaming from OBS through into YouTube and Twitch and Facebook. So I'm going to get loads of stuff wrong here. But anyway, let's have a crack on the first hole. I think there's a good chance of making the green in this. Maybe not in a headwind, but I'm going to choose a Ryder Cup ball, give myself a chance to really put it there. I have been through this quickly this morning. I had some real connection issues, so the stream wasn't fantastic. Okay, finally got an opponent. This first hole was about 10%. See, I knew it'd do that. Okay, I mean, look, there's a serious amount of. I'm going to play a wind 1 ball. Sorry, a wind 4 ball, but just a P1. I don't think there's. No, I'm not. I'm going to play a KM. So with anything remotely resembling a tailwind, you can play over that sort of middle rock. I'm going to put a little bit of curl on that just to avoid that bunker. Did I clip that rough then? He's playing much more centralised. This second shot's going to be uphill because I'm so short. I'm in front of those 2 bunkers, and I suspect it's going to be a B52. It may even be a cat. I couldn't see properly whether or not I clipped that rough, but I think I did. Yeah, he's got a proper bounce on. It's cat. I think that might be a little bit uphill. Let's have a look and see what my distance is like. I'm gonna say it's -5%, and I'm going to be playing this at what looks to be about 25% slider. So cat 6.3. See how we do. Put the ball guide right through the hole. Oh, great right. Well, give us an idea of what the distance is like. Okay. So I've played a great right and it's still gone left. So I've massively over-adjusted that. That's interesting. I think most people would be using sniper here. You know, for my part, I've got Cat 7. It's essentially the same club with a tiny bit less ball guide and 8 yards more of distance, so I'd rather use that. Yeah, he's done the same. Just going to do a few holes here, that's all. Alright, birdie the first hole. Another time we get a different wind. Let's have a look at this. This is interesting hole this. I am going to play it at a +10. And I'm going to use a P1 Win 5. I'm one of those people, I don't really see the point. If you're going to properly practice, I know this is just a first look, but if you're going to practice a hole, you might as well practice it with the ball you're going to use and the club you're going to use. Otherwise, what do you get out of it? Doesn't make any sense to do it another way. Massively over adjusted on that shot to that second green. That must be like a -20 or something. Right, there is a rough bump here. And you know what? .8, 8 rings, so I'm going to give it a go, but it is tight. If I hit great right or great left here, this is oblivion. That's nice. Oh, you beauty. Not bad for a first attempt. So I played max +10 there. P115, ball guide to hole. I mean, obviously, if this is one of those where if you've got a headwind there, maybe a Spartan ball or a 4th anniversary ball, like a P4 Wind 5, something like that, you might have enough room to make the adjustment. I mean, it was 8 rings, so maybe not. Maybe not. I had a crack at this one earlier and I just pitched exactly where he's pitching now. I mean, this is showing a wind at 8.2, so I suspect he's playing this at 8.4, almost 1-to-1. But I think his ball will come up to the right side. I think it will come high. There's quite a weird undulation on the green leading up to the pin here. Oh, completely opposite. Ignore everything I say. I just make it up as I go along. Let's have another quick look at that, because it's always nice when get yourself a hole in one. Let's just have a quick watch, see my setup here. Yeah, straight tailwind, which is what makes it worth doing. I mean, you've got it's a very narrow strip of rough, but if you hit perfect, there's no reason to miss it. I wouldn't, if you're prone to, you know, great lefts and great rights, I don't think I'd want to be playing the rough bump. I'd probably do what Matthias did. So 7.8, I played 8 rings here, which is max plus 10. Looked like a slight 1201 pull as well, actually. And a touch of overpower. Yeah, it does. It floats beautifully in. Yeah, slight 1201 pull. And it's dropped on the left side, so it's theoretically a straight pull that might have missed. Okay. Okay. Let's have a look at hole 3. Oh yeah, big par 5 this. I'm just going to stick a Titan on here. I think there's a send it shot on this. I think. I haven't played this course since it was on Tour 11 6-7 months ago, when I just started trying Tour 11s, like June last year. I'd been on T10 for 3 or 4 months, and I just stepped up to Tour 11. I was just playing maybe like 1 or 2 games a day, just to try and get used to the way the back tees play, because it's so different to Tour 10. All sorts of things that you just don't expect. All these different wind, right, 14.2, these kind of wind drifts and things like that. So I don't think this is going to get anywhere near that bunker, and I'm okay with that. 14.2, 12.7 ring adjustment. And I'm not going to go heavy on the overpower, but I am going to do a bit. I just want to clear that first rough, sorry. Perfect shot. All right, hold. Yeah. About 2.5, 3 rings of overpower there, wasn't too much. Connection issues. I get this all the time. Right, there is a rough bump here. For absolute certain, and you need to. Right, I'm gonna play 5% here because I'm 13.9, 17.4 rings. about there. Okay, hit perfect, please. Ah! Alright, it'll be okay as long as it clips, yeah. Okay, that was close. Yeah, I think the KM might be a better choice here. The way that funnel works, you really do need to have that sort of left spin, but there's quite a lot of wind drift, because I had quite a 14 mile an hour wind was enough to knock it over, but I suspect he's hit great right as well. It's definitely the shot though. You can play with your there's a shot with sort of red ring by the bunker, and it's like plus 20 or something like that. Yeah, Drew, I didn't set it too close to the edge on that rough bump for exactly that reason. I gave myself plenty of room to get it wrong, because I get it wrong quite a lot. When we catch up later, I'll tell you how I've managed to figure this out. I've spent the whole morning trying to work out how to integrate streams and all of that stuff. And I finally figured it out. I don't know why it's not showing. So I can see that you've I can see that you've sent a message on my chat. Well, I don't know why my chat box isn't showing up. Let's just have a quick look. Because the chat box is not showing up on the stream, is it? And I've just closed it. View. Ah. I saw you pop up with something then. But I did, it showed the chat box on the... Okay. Oh, I see. So I can only talk to you if I do it through a web browser. This is what I need to do. I need to figure out now why the chat doesn't stay. No, let's not do that. Chatter, visual settings, clean, always show messages. Okay, not really sure why it's Alright, well we're still live. I'm going to do one more and then I've got to go shopping. Let's play this. This par 3 here is a sniper shot. and it's 25% all day long, except it doesn't play like that. I had one crack at it earlier and it travelled very strange. Well, I can see you popping up in the chat box now. Must have done something right. Just so you know, Drew, I've done a bit of work, like these graphics and stuff like that. Fortunately, that is my wheelhouse. So I've been on Illustrator and Photoshop this morning, creating graphics and chat box is quite useful because it's coming up on the side and letting me know that you're talking. Tough win this. I'm going to play the rough bump here as well, but I think the rough bump is more like a well, I still think it's 25% actually. Yeah, that's a decent effort. I'm going to play it at 20%. I've not got the same sort of win that he has. But I'm going to go red ring because there's a bit of a tailwind. I'm going to leave this short. 7.7 ring, 9.1. Let's have a look and see what happens. Oof. See, I played that at 20%. I played that at 20%. I wish he hadn't held out then. I could have hit that back up. Got to figure this hole out because it was still quite close to the edge. Still quite close to the edge. Maybe the rough bump's not the shot. Maybe it's too... Alright, let's have a bit of fun. Last one. Ryder Cup ball. Main. Now, I know for a fact with this ball or with a Virtuoso ball that you can make the green or almost make the green with a slight headwind. Long as it's a cross headwind and not a straight headwind. And obviously it depends on how strong it is. But previously, if you had a tailwind on this, you'd take a Zerk and you'd aim it. But I used to go on Virtuoso. See, I don't. When you've got 4 topspin extra, he probably doesn't even need to. He probably doesn't even need to push up. I don't think I'm going to push up. I think I'm just going to play a straight shot with the extra topspin. He is going to push up. 2 yards. Interesting. What's with the right curl? Don't really understand that. Okay, that's with a Virtuoso ball. And he's ended up in the rough. So let's try with a Ryder Cup ball. I'm not going to push up at all. $14.1. 13.2. Let's have a look. That's 10.2. It's worth having these little sacrifice shots, just so you know. So you've got the lay of the land. So look, I've put no push up on that. Oh, this is going to be a beaut. Get in that hole. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm running low, Drew. Do you know what? I'd forgotten I had them. I bought them because I needed gems. I forgot I had them. What a shot that was. There we go. Learned something significant there. So it's going to be interesting, I think, on that hole, because we're going to see, we're bound to at some point this week see a send it wind on that hole, and I'm just going to watch that shot again, because his was all sorts of complicated. I'm going to watch it on the big screen. So I've just done maximum top. There's virtually no side on that. Yeah, it wasn't bad, was it, Drew? Max plus 10. And I didn't push up at all. I watched him push up, and I watched how close he got to that rough line. And then he ran through the green. And did nothing with this, no curve, nothing, because there's a really big funnel in that top right hand corner. And I did think for a moment I thought this might be going in, you know. Look at it roll down. What perfect pace. What absolutely perfect pace. Going to be a few holes in one, I think. Going to be a few holes in one on that. Okay, so I don't know what the wind's going to be on this. I'm going to select a Kingmaker, but I suspect if I get a tailwind I'll be pulling a Zerk, and I'll explain why on this. I remember this from Tour 11 very well, actually. It's one of the holes I got most often. It was only on Tour 11 for about 2 weeks when I first started, but there's a load of bunkers down the right hand side and it's quite narrow, except for there is an area somewhere mid down the bunkers where the actual fairway gets a bit wider as a result of the undulations between the bunkers, almost like fingers of the bunkers, and it's sort of in between. And if you take a Zerk at full OP and some curl, where it lands is that wide part. Okay, yeah, I'm absolutely going to take a Zerk. So see, there's that sort of knuckle between the two bunkers where it's just a bit wider. Well, max plus 10 on this with a Zerk and full OP, and it hits in that gap. Whereas, see, I think this is a riskier shot because he has to stay central and is not going to roll up very far, and he's in the rough. He's not going to roll up very far, which makes the second shot much harder. Right, so I'm going to switch this out for a Zerk. 13.6. And I'm just going to try and sort of aim it as if it's going to be in the middle, not the ball guide, just the actual in the middle there. 13.6 is 12.8. 10. 12.8-ish. And I'm going to do about a ball of curl. Slight great left, but that'll be okay. See how much wider it is there? And this will run down nicely and it should stop before it gets to that rough. Now I think the first topspin boost ball was the compass ball, and it appeared on the course where you've got that bunker to hop over on the par 5. That was on Tour 11 as well. It was, can't remember what the course is called. Not Sunshine Glades, but it was on Tour 5 for years, or Tour 6 for years and years. It might even still be there. And there's a bunker to hop over, or you can go to the right, and that never worked out. Right, 14.5. Okay, so I reckon that's about 25% slider, and I'm going to play it plus 15%, so 15.6 pull here. That's 8, 7.6 wanted. Ah, great right. Be okay though. Might be a 20% pull, because I did hit great right there, and I know it's taking it to the right, but I think it's taking it too far over. When was the last time we had a tournament on Jamil Dunes? It wasn't that long ago. We had the dreaded Dunes. I think it was the Spring Major. I think the Spring Major was Jamil Dunes last year. Just played that one. This one's funny actually. I need to... Okay, so my Thor's hammer's on... Alright. Backspin 60. What is it on? Okay, so I want to take QB because you need the backspin here. Southern Pines, that's it. Well done. Still on T6. I actually like Southern Pines as a course. I really like it. I think it's nice, and it was nice when it was on T11 for a while, and then because they rotate courses through. Although they don't need to anymore. They've got practice now. Right. I tried playing this. I thought it was about 20%, and you play off the right bank, and it depends on what wind we get, obviously. but I played 20% and I pulled it so far over, it was bizarre. So I'm like, my head's now going, maybe it's 5%. I really over adjusted. Like I said, I had just one little crack at this morning, just while I was trying to set up the stream. Okay, so there's a massive funnel here. Look at that, look at the size of that. So I'm going to play this 7.2. Play this mid plus 5%. Okay, needs 10. Needs 10. I quite like this hole. The last time I played it, I think was expert, and you had the rough bump on that just above the bunker, but really tight, a really tight wind zero ball rough bump with a sniper, I think. That's interesting, the rough bump he's playing there. Oh, he's got a slight sticky spot there. There's definitely a sticky where I was hitting it before. I only played 5% because when I played it at 20, which is what it reads at on the text guides, the over adjustment was enormous. He's getting close though. Yeah, he's thinking the same as you. Not disappointed though. Couple more holes to play. I've got time. Sod the shopping. You did call it, yeah. Yeah, I'll give you that. Oh, what am I doing? Pressed all the wrong balls, all the wrong buttons. So we've just played that. This is another Ryder Cup ball jobby. This one, if you can get if you can get a tailwind on this, the second fairway on the right hand side where there's like a bunker island in the middle of it, you'd make it with a wind 3 and comfortably with a wind 4, and a wind 5 you'd end up in the bunker. So you've got to be a bit careful. But Ryder Cup ball, I wouldn't use 3 topspin, I'd use 2 extra topspin boost. Oh, look at that beauty. So I'm gonna pull my target over to this this middle fairway on the left, or the left of the two first parts of the fairway. I'm gonna pull it over to the middle. I'm gonna aim for that. I'm gonna aim for this spot. It's not gonna show it, but buggered that up. Cheers, Drew. See you again soon, mate. So I'm going to aim here because I want to land it here. I'm going to go to top spin boost. Okay, 13.9. Now I'm just going to aim that about there. Perfect shot. Oh, too much curl. Don't matter, I'll take it. Still going to be an easy eagle. Have a good one, Drew. I'll talk to you about Streamlabs and all of that later. Because the one thing I noticed from doing it from Omelette, I did a couple of live streams yesterday on Omelette, and when you go to view it afterwards and you hit full screen, it turns it into landscape mode, so you can't see the screen properly. You don't get to see it full screen like this. Okay. Yeah, he's gone. He's checked out. I am just going to roll this in 12.9, 20%, 3.6. Just get a bit of a feel for it. Don't underpower it. Oh, don't hit great left. Be alright though. All right. That's what have we just played that one? Okay, so last hole. I'm gonna play conservatively on this. 10% downslope. You can clear the bunker with any sort of a tailwind, crosswind and a headwind. You've got no chance. But there's a bit of a trap here actually. A lot of people play down the left hand side so they can go full pelt, but it's a really difficult approach to the green then. If you play up into the thin area, and I'll show you when it comes up on the screen, this area here. Okay, so look, we've got 12.2 plus 10. I'll show you. So I've got a slight headwind, so I can afford to put this on full top. All right. 12.2 tells me 10.9. So that's 8, and that's 2.9. And I'm not going to do any OP here. I am going to do a tiny bit of counter curl. Just to keep it. But if you can get it, it's tight, but if you can get it to sit in this little channel, lovely. Then you've got a shot to green. That's the important thing. That's the thing that you need. And there's no point. So he's going to play down the left, and it'd be interesting to watch this because I think the approach from that left hand side is much harder. Whereas I'm I'm not even. This is not. I'm not going to play. This is an Albie hole for sure. Not in this wind. For sure, it's an Albie hole. There's a nice rough bump that runs right the way down to the hole, and a real channel. Like, it's actually harder to miss the channel than it is to hit it. Hope you're enjoying this content. I've only just started streaming, it's quite new, but there's so little master content and Tour 12 content out there that I felt that it would be useful to have some. So I'm just going to slightly over. Now I would normally play this, if I was going over, I'd be playing this at maybe 20%. But I'm going to play it at 10 because I'm actually not running down there. 10.6 mid 9. Let's have a look. 8, 9. Just easy does it. Hoping. There we go. Might have put too much top on that, but again, the only thing I care about here is getting it near that pin in that sort of wind. Now look at his approach. Very difficult. The big issue here is you've got this massive sweep down. It's about 40% from this side, about 40% adjustment. And you've got to be careful not to run through the grain into the rough. He might be alright. He's hit a great left, which might have helped his cause, but he didn't put much top on it. Yeah. Now see, he's played that really well, really well. If it had run a bit further on, you can see the camber on the backside of the green. So this will be it. Good show. It's going to be a decent card, that, considering it's just a first crack at. Oh, look at that. What a beauty. What a beauty. There is one caveat to this. The hole 1 eagle, I played a half a practice round this morning. The hole 1 eagle absolutely was not in this round that I've just done. So I'm minus 15 actually, to be fair. But some, apart from those 3 par 4s with the right winds should all be eagle holes. Should all be eagle holes. In headwinds, they're absolute bastards, all of them. But we've got a hole in one on a par 3 there, but that's a decent. That is a decent. That'll just wind up the guys in the clown. That's decent. Well, look, not many live followers, but I'm putting the content out there for people to look at afterwards, and obviously people will be coming onto YouTube to have a look at master content for next week's tournament. I'll be putting more up. Certainly a first look at qualify, probably Q1, Q2, and I'll definitely be streaming one of my opening rounds and one of my weekend rounds. From haven't decided which accounts yet. I've got 3 and they're all in master, so there's a sacrifice account where I go in to have a first look. I'll probably play that before I show you how bad I am. And then just putting some content out there. If you like what I've done here, please do click on that little bell, subscribe. You can find me on Twitch /Danny Lenihan. And that's it. I hope you've enjoyed it. See you again soon.